Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa. Today is Friday, so you know what that means. We grab something red because we are ED every Friday to remember everyone deployed. It's a happy hour. It's Friday, so you know that means as well. There's Clint Westwood on the other side of this to make sure that we all have a great Friday. And let's see what's happening with Westwood right after this. Happy Friday, Westwood.
Happy Friday, lovely Litecoin Lisa. How are you?
I'm good. It is the MLK weekend. We're going to be having a long federal holiday weekend. My husband has made friends with many of the lovely ladies at the post office, and one of the toughest ladies there, she said she was so excited because she said it's going to be a long weekend.
Yeah.
They get a holiday this weekend.
Right.
Actually, now that kind of makes sense of what we were talking about right before the show. Remember, there's actually videos where the Fed's talking about how, when the dollar dies. And, I was watching Janine and Jean-Claude the other night, and they were saying that, like, they believe in the background that a lot of these banks have crashed. They've just kind of kept it quiet. And the Fed had said that they would want it to happen over a long weekend. And because they wouldn't want people freaking out and, wouldn't want a bank run and all those kind of things. Yeah. Be interesting if some of that stuff was happening in the background.
Well, an interesting anecdote today. I thought, well, shoot, I'm going to go see if the bank's got a box of nickels or anything that I can, take a look at. And so I go to the bank and pick Camila up from school. I go to the bank and go to the door, and the door's locked. It's like 3:20. I'm like, wait a minute. Well, and I look and I'm like, I guess there are no cars here. And I thought, well, why are they closed on Friday? They're closed on Monday. Why would they close early today? And I didn't see a sign on the door or anything. It was just locked up and nobody was there.
Was this one of the big three?
No, it's a local bank. It's locally owned. So I was kind of surprised because they usually have pretty good hours, and why they'd be closed so early on a Friday, which is not normal. So it was just, I don't know. So I, didn't get to inspect any nickels.
That's strange. There were, Randy Quaid posted this very cryptic post today. He's at the Federal Reserve of the 11th District of Dallas. He's holding a Benjamin.
Banker hours, right? All about the Benjamins.
Yeah, but this is what I was like, oh, I wonder if he was trying to give us a nod to something coming up with this weekend, or because then he also posted this, I guess it's a Grok post. It says, what is the 11th District Federal Reserve? And it says, sorry about that. Something didn't go as planned. Please try again. And if you're still seeing this message, go ahead and restart the app. Of course, there was a big outage on.
Yeah, there was some, was it CloudStrike or what's the other one? One of those big services went down again today.
Oh, okay. Is that what caused the Twitter outage this morning?
Yep.
Okay.
Once again.
And then earlier this week, we had the big outage that caused, the Verizon and, over 40% of America didn't have service and their cell phones went to SOS.
Oh my gosh. And I didn't even know it. Isn't that wonderful? I love my life.
I was going to say, that would have been a dream day for you. 40% of America can't contact me.
Right. Wipe them out.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
There was also, what was the other? There was a funny, I think it was something my husband sent me. that was one of those U.S. debt clock things,
Uh-huh.
where they were posting, yep, new era of prosperity, and showing let's see if I can share this one instead. It says new banks or new credit union, new era of prosperity, new 50 state credit union banks. And of course, the star is about right in Dallas. That's where Dallas is located on the map, people.
Oh yeah, it
And
is.
if you don't know your geography, do some geography lessons. And it says state credit union banks, 100% reserve, asset, trust, and then backed by U.S. Dollars, and then owned by we people. 0 to 3% APR interest on home, car, business,
Okay.
credit card on all loans. Replaces and eliminates all property tax.
Well, that would be wonderful, right? Talk about prosperity.
That would be pretty
Talk about
interesting.
unleashing markets and human capital at that point.
Yeah. So, of course, some people say that the U.S. debt clock is, not accurate. That it's, a family puts it together. So
Right.
it's just kind of something to
An interesting tool to take a look at.
look at.
Make of it what you will.
You know, could the future be built like that? Like, could there be parallel systems being built behind the scenes, um, without the public's involvement?
I don't know why not.
Yeah,
I guess the goal would be to roll everything into the treasury and let the treasury kind of do things. And you've seen signs of that. I mean, you've seen signs of that with the tariffs coming in and the money, that they're stating comes in from the tariffs. That's kind of treasury controlled, I think. It's not Federal Reserve money. So, it'd be nice if they just dumped the Fed, right? And just scapegoated it and said, these guys are crooks. They're corrupt. They robbed you of your energy, inflation. You know what? They're just going to eat it.
well,
We're not paying them back.
yeah. I thought that's what the Fed's new job has been. Just like they had to keep, the other three-letter agencies around, because their job now is to kind of eat
On the deep state.
themselves. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
right.
the Fed is going to eat
Just
the
dump it all on
debt.
that, and then you
Yeah,
create the new parallel system through tariffs and through what's coming in from there was just a deal today. Howard Lutnick said that they made with Taiwan, to where there's up to $500 billion from Taiwan going to be invested in the United States. They have some plants in Arizona that they're going to continue building and adding more, and then plants in other parts of the country. But I mean, that was the number he threw out: 500 billion, $500 billion that Taiwan's going to invest in building infrastructure here for the silicon and the chips and the components. So that's a huge deal,
that's a
you
huge
know?
deal. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean that's bringing manufacturing back, and that's what needs to happen if you're going to. I mean, face it, because if you default on your debt and you just say to the Fed and cut it loose and just say, we're done, we're not paying this shit back. Sorry, I'm losing bad language today. We're not paying this back. Um, you've got to have an alternative system in place where you have productive capabilities, and you've got the energy infrastructure in which, that's the Venezuela play, more energy tapping. But I mean, you could tap Alaska. I mean, the Gulf. I mean, there's all kinds of places. You've got resources locked up. You want to go back on a gold standard to give people confidence. You come out with a new dollar out of the treasury, back it by the gold that you have, revalue it, use the reserves that are in the national parks. I mean, there's ways to break free from that system, but they may be putting that in place. That may be the parallel system that we're kind of watching, and at some point they just say, Fed, it's been corrupt. Done with it.
Yeah. Done
Not
with you
not
and
obligated to pay that stuff back. But you've got to have something that people are, because if you do that and default on the debt that the foreigners hold, they're going to be a little upset and want something for it. I mean, but if you make these other deals, I mean, you could always pay them back in new dollars if you wanted to, or not at all, and say, hey, we'll let you participate in our market. How's that? And we won't make you pay as much in tariffs, you know?
Well,
And
and
if
that's
you're in the power seat and you've got all the resources that you need, then you can kind of lever that play.
what it really feels like is these tariffs and the trade deals seem like the new battlefield, the new war,
Yeah, definitely.
although
Yeah.
there are, definitely the dark side, or people trying to start wars. We're hearing about Israel over trying to allegedly start things over in Iran and trying to, get the U.S. engaged over there, and
Mm-hmm.
really some dangerous things. Thankfully, Trump was saying that Iran, was planning to, I guess, hang like 8,000 people, and they were able to put a stop to that, and to get that, to stand down, thankfully.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then at the same time, you're like, what are we really watching? Or is this more media part of the show?
Right.
Um,
Yeah. I don't think we've at this point. I don't think I don't have the stomach for it. To get engaged in any Middle Eastern conflicts at this point. I think that that's played its course, and all the corruption and all the grift that went along with that. I'm just done with that, done with it. And we really don't need it. I mean, do we need their oil? Not really. I mean, really don't need that energy. So that's kind of played itself out, I think. Should have.
it should have. The problem is
Should be
that
done.
the it, that the Middle East has been imported to America, and stealing American culture and coming into states that have, like the Minnesota thing,
Yeah.
coming
No,
into
no, no,
states that
no.
have low population, and then, okay, Ken and I, we've been very much homeschooling this week, and one of their subjects this year for homeschooling is called defeating Darwinism.
Okay.
And well, they should have backed up a little bit and told the kids who Darwin was and what he believed.
Yeah.
And so we had to kind of backtrack a little bit and do a little extra education, to give him some, foundation of what are they even talking about. So we're doing all these, I was helping him with some little, short clip videos that he could kind of digest and see what's going on. And so they were talking about like, Darwin's thoughts, um, and the difference between, I am so overly homeschooled this week. My brain is a little fried, you guys, so I apologize. But the difference between, what am I trying to say?
Evolution and creation.
Yes, evolution and creation. And then this one little fish was swimming around, and they were like, but actually they found out, it's more about, it wasn't about so much evolution as, it wasn't about the, giraffe's long neck and needing to eat. It was about, population and recreation and whatever. And I was like, and there's the Muslims. I said, because all these good little white people that only want to have, 1.2 kids,
Right.
and only
Right.
after they
Trying to
all
be a
get
little
their master's
responsible here,
degree.
and be able
Yes,
to take care of what you produce. And then there's the mass of the mentality of some cultures to where it's like, we'll just come in and invade and overpopulate and take over.
yes. And Cannon was like, what? And so I talked to him about, in in a lot of those cultures, there's, lots of children, and, they marry those little girls very young, and then they're just trying, they might have multiple wives and
Mhm.
reproducing. And so we looked at some of the cultures around that. And I said, that's why some of those cultures have come in and taken over, a city, a county,
Mhm.
an area very quickly, because their population rises so quickly and so fast that, in the current, modern day middle class, Midwest
Right.
American culture, they're not doing that,
No,
because they're trying
we're not
to
producing fast enough to replace, um, you know, the culture, I guess you could say.
ourselves even.
Right.
Yeah,
And
much
The
less.
Western culture is not
Yeah,
replacing itself and replenishing itself, and the only growth is coming from all that external.
right. And so then to have immigrants come in, and it would be one thing if they were legal
Mhm.
migrants, but it's not, and it's supposed to be anyway. So we went into this, we had this really great discussion about it, and then talking about then to be a drain on society and resources and not contributing, and having that kind of a population explosion on top of it, and that's where it's so dangerous. And so
Yeah.
it was really interesting. But
There's get into this a little bit. There's a lot of talk about, well, we need foreigners for jobs, okay, and it's a bad thing if we're declining in population, because who's going to do the work, who's going to do the jobs? Well, I mean, we've got robotics. I mean, we've got technology coming. Is it necessary that we need all these manual labor jobs anyway going forward? Probably not,
no.
honestly. I mean, a lot of things are going to get eliminated. A lot of jobs are going to get eliminated through technology. And so that thinking that we need to continually grow, do we? I mean, do you really need to continuously grow to feed the economy and this and that? And no, I mean, I think you take care of things with technology innovation, and if you just want to have one kid, you just have one kid, and because that's all you can handle, and you don't want to handle anymore. If you want to have two, you want to have five, whatever. But the trend is and then even with the younger generations, the trends is going lower as far as birth rate, of generations after Generation X. And so that's not a bad thing. I mean, the species isn't necessarily dying. It could be shrinking a little bit, or the culture, or whatever you want to call it. But with technology, I mean, maybe people want to do different things. Instead of raising a family for 50 years, by having multiple children, maybe it's like, okay, 20 years, I'm done, and now I want to go and write poetry, and go out into the woods and and fulfill my chapter of that life that way, and by making that conscious decision. So it's not necessarily a bad thing that the population's not growing, and replacing itself.
It's an interesting conversation because, I am has been on, our friend I am for I am, we has been on, or William, and he talks a lot about the post-labor economy, or this that we're going into, or this, because our next industrial revolution is going to be this AI, based,
Yeah,
um,
highly technology
robotics, like you were
based.
talking about, post-labor economy.
Right,
And
it's an issue.
and
It's
trust me,
coming.
I love babies. So I am not encouraging in any way for people not to have
Right.
babies. I think everyone should have lots of babies,
Mhm. Yep.
especially my own children. But
Yes.
I'm just saying that if that is the direction that humanity is going or choosing to go,
Right.
it doesn't mean that it can't be compensated for or won't balance. Humanity won't balance out. And maybe that is the next industrial revolution, that may be
Mhm.
one part of it. It could be, that's an interesting part of the conversation anyway.
Yeah, and then you think maybe you come up with more life lengthening technologies that allow you to live longer, and maybe it shifts the other way then. Well, shoot, the average age is 120 years. Well, I got time to have, a family, and then, later on in life I'll still be healthy. You change the mindset, so maybe it swings back the other way through technology, rather than thinking that, oh, technology is going to destroy us. No, maybe it could make life, better, so that, we kind of shift the way we think. And, it swings back the other way and said, well, oh, shoot, I got, 60 great years. I can have a family. And then the next 60 years, I can, do, who knows what happens and comes of it.
Yeah, it
Mhm.
it is, yeah, really, because life does go so quick, and you're in these seasons,
Yep.
but when something like a big technological change like that um, happens into extended life, and think about, you have a whole, because I think about 20, right, for me it's like seasons of 20 years.
Mhm.
And my daughter right now is about half of my life right now, and for her, if I said, like, you know you have a whole nother lifetime ahead of you,
Mhm.
that would be,
It's like,
overwhelming, mind blowing.
what do you mean? This
Yeah,
is, I got to live now.
a
I'm
whole
living now.
nother lifetime. Yeah. And to me, I was just 25, 26, just the other day, you know.
Right. It's like Whoosh.
when having my babies. Yeah. So it just, goes so fast. So
You can't be, listen, how many times have I told you quit driving those fast vehicles? Because when you hit 88 miles per hour, things happen.
yeah. Oh, that was a little woo woo this week. RIP to Scott Adams.
Yeah.
But did you notice that how they kept saying, on the movie Back to the Future, it says
Mhm.
Great Scott, Great
Great
Scott.
Scott. Yep.
Well, Great
Yeah.
Scott passed away the day that Silver hit 88.
Well, there you go. All the
Like
connections,
all the coincidences,
all the things, right? Yeah. 88.
Yeah.
Well, that's a Cliff High number. I think I misspoke in my video today and said gold $88 and it's silver. I didn't
Yeah, it's Silver.
transition fast enough. But yeah, I mean, that was the Bitcoin thing, 888. That 88 kind of pops up multiple times in these price charts, it seems. So, or maybe we're just paying attention to it. But where's it at right now? It was 88 today.
Oh, it's just hovering around 90.
Hovering. Oh, it's just brutal. It's only
I'm
90. It's got to hit 3 digits. Come on.
I'm so
Come
put out.
on.
Yeah. It was interesting. Charlie was watching a video right before I came up, and we kind of did a little experiment. Me, Mom, and Charlie went to a pawn shop
Okay.
and here in town, and just to kind of see, what are they selling.
Yeah, feel it out.
Previously, one of Mom's friends, her friend's friend owns the pawn shop. She was like, "Oh yeah, he pays spot, whatever." And so Mom's like, "Well, let's go check it out." Well, he had just done this huge buy. He posted on his social media, all this stuff. And with all this, hype and whatever's going on, we're just curious. And so we'll go in. Well, he's paying 10% back
Okay.
now.
Yeah, I got you.
And we're like,
Yeah, I
yeah,
know. Because if it's $90 and you're getting 81, you're like,
yeah, yeah. Oh, thanks. But we were just curious. And
right.
then Charlie was listening to a video right before I came up to do the show, and somebody was calling. He's like, you hear that silver is whatever, but then you call around,
Right.
and I can tell you that there's no way people are paying that, because at a pawn shop or coin dealer or whatever, just was it not even 3 weeks ago, silver was half that.
Yeah.
So these guys cannot take that kind of chance,
Right.
and so some of them were paying 20% less.
Wow.
Um, yeah, it was really interesting to listen to the phone calls and
Yeah.
to kind of see where they were, and and who's really buying. And I still think the best opportunity for people is peer to peer.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
it's the best for the person buying.
Yep.
Because if you try to buy any of these sites or whatever, they've got premiums.
Yep. A lot.
And they're making you wait a month or
Yep.
2 weeks or whatever.
Yep.
You're not getting it right away. But also for the person that's selling, you could probably get pretty close to spot, if not spot.
Yeah.
And especially if they were like Eagles or something, you should be getting over, of course.
Right. Right.
So
No, you're 100% right on that. I mean, because you avoid paying, because you're going to pay spot price. You go to the dealer, they're going to charge you spot. I mean,
oh, yeah.
at a coin show, you can find deals under spot at a coin show just from the standpoint of, you got guys that have bought it at $50 or $30 or $20. You know what I mean? And it went up so fast, they're like, "Oh yeah, I'll sell it to you for 85, instead of 90," just because, they made money on it. You know what I mean? But these dealers, what happens a lot of times is, they're rotating the inventory. And so if now they're buying it like you're seeing, they're like, I don't want to be paying, I gotta buy it under, because if it goes down, I'm in trouble. If I don't have inventory that I paid less for, if people have come in and bought it at that price, so their buy price is up. So they're trying to hedge their bets, but then they're going to charge you more at the top. And so, yeah, definitely, if you do it peer to peer, you can work out a deal. It's like, okay, I'll give you 100 hugs and you give me an ounce of silver, however you want to do it,
Yeah.
um, and yeah, so that's really your best way to do it, because there's no markup, and it's just, there's not that margin. You're usually getting something that you want, and that person gets what they want, and not worried about making money on it. It's like you get what you want, you walk away.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing we were starting to have the conversation on WBRT, and I think it could have gone. It wasn't the topic of the day, but kind of like, you and I, when we were traveling around and talking, educating people about crypto and silver and whatever, one of our biggest education pieces was, what is money?
Yeah.
And some of that kind of goes down. And I think that some of America is kind of being silver pilled, should I say. Like, what is money? Why is this happening? Why is the dollar, and why are these choices being made? Why is silver going up all of a sudden? And it's because of the value of, what we value things for. And I think about, when the United States was founded and we decided what our currency would be, they took that, peso, or it was a Mexican coin, right?
Spanish real is what it's
Real.
based on, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was so many grains.
Yep.
But basically, it could have been anything.
Could have been anything. But
it
that's what
was
they chose because it was, historically, legit. I mean,
it
it's
was
been
a
used.
recognizable
Yeah.
item, and it had a weight, a known weight and measure.
Yep.
And so, and it was, so it was recognizable, known weight and measure. So it was this shiny rock that was recognizable and had a known weight and measure. And they put it on one side of the scale.
Yeah.
And then they said, here, you can trade with this, but you decide how much the thing on the other side is worth. And so that's the part that we forgot, is that we decide what the value is. We decide how many eggs we're willing to give up for that shiny rock.
Right. What's it worth to you? And you may think that, well, my eggs are pretty valuable. Yeah, they go bad in 2 weeks, but within this 2 week window, I mean, they're pretty valuable. And so, are you coming back in 2 weeks? No. Okay, you're only here now. And so you weigh it out, in your mind. Okay, I know what I've got here. I'll take that because I know I can use this for something else that I want to get, and so, yeah, you definitely do. But ultimately it's a store of energy to be used later to get the things that you need. That's all money is. And I mean, what things do you need? You need food, you need shelter, you might need firewood just to stay warm. So ultimately it comes down to who has those things that you really need, and they can kind of set the market, who has the energy, really, food, energy.
Well, and they used the coin to store it, but really that was if you needed to wait. But really it was used to pass between people. It was a messaging system.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
It was a transaction, or
it's a message everybody understood to be a valid message, and just like cryptocurrency is, the good blockchains. I mean, it's a valid message that you can trust, and when you receive it that okay, I've got it, and then I can send that message to somebody else that says, there you go.
This had this much value. I'm exchanging this much value with you for whatever.
Yeah, because your messaging system's stamped on it by the government, and that's why the mint was important, because you could know that if I got this coin, it has this much silver, these many grains of silver, this weight, and it's verified, it's certified, and so that it put the message on there of truth that this is what it is. And then when somebody picks it up, they know, oh, the U.S. Mint made this. Okay, this is good. I know how much silver I have, so now I don't have to question anything. I know that, okay, I need this much silver for this many eggs. And so, okay, I can see it. Okay, I got the message.
So we could have something like that with our U.S. Postal Service, with a stamp of some kind, just like we used to use money orders. And actually, these money orders are still a thing that the U.S. Postal Service can issue a money order that gives that designation that our government is entrusted with. We trust that money order because of the U.S. Postal Service, and it's kind of like a stamp that you're transacting. You're sending a message of value that you can exchange peer to peer. So, I mean, I could see that being some kind of transition or way, and you could use those post office boxes as ways to store or value or hold value, and then use your money order as if you had like digital versions to spend digital portions of your weight of your
That's possible. I mean,
places.
you've got a lot of those posts all over the place. It's conveniently located for most people. I mean, even in rural towns, you've got a post office where you don't even have a bank in a lot of cases. So, and the bank, the nature of the bank now, since it falls under like the Federal Reserve thing, it's really not government,
Right.
you know? I
But the
mean,
U.S. Postal Service is for the people.
yeah, so that'd be an interesting, way to shift it maybe. Yeah, it's possible.
Trump, call me. I have an idea.
Just give her a call. Get her.
Judy Shelton, give me a call. I have an
Get
idea.
him, get me on the show.
I got an idea, Judy. Little Judy Shelton, give me
I'll
a
be
call.
on this happy hour.
Yeah, give me a call.
It'll be the happiest hour you've ever seen. The happiest, the greatest.
It'll be called the
You'll be
Great
so happy. You'll be getting
Great
sick of
Stamp.
being happy.
Yeah, it's all the Great Stamp, the Great Stamp, the Great Post Office Box.
Yep.
The greatest. The greatest. Yeah.
Golden post offices everywhere.
Passing the Great Healthcare Act, or the Great, what was he calling it? Basically trying to give, the healthcare back to the people, giving the money back to the people so that they can choose their healthcare, and getting help for rural areas with healthcare, which I thought was really, really great as well. So that was some good stuff today.
We need like witch doctors. We need a witch doctor in every county, that knows plants and medicine and all this stuff. I think we'd be better off, show up with a bag of, all kinds of herbs and stuff.
There usually is one
somewhere
around. Yeah. Yeah. There usually is one somewhere around.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to know who to ask.
Yeah, you got to ask around.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yep. Definitely.
Oh, what else is going on this week?
Things I can't talk about. So, there's I posed an interesting philosophical question today, I guess, or a psychological experiment today when I did my video. I was thinking about something about, could you, and I just came up with an arbitrary number because I thought that might be the right number, for $5 million, Lisa and everybody in the chat. I'm curious what everybody thinks. For $5 million, 1 year, you've got to go leave society. Now, you can live in a cabin out in the woods next to a national park, whatever it is, but you can't have any communication with another human being for an entire year. No internet, no TV, no communications, nothing. You've got everything taken care of for you. You got your heat, you got food, you're good. And you can go outside and walk around, go through the forest, explore, see the animals, flowers, all the stuff. You've got a library there where you can read all you want.
Oh.
But you cannot interact with society. You're not going to have the ability to. No communication, no internet, social media, nothing. No other human being. Could you do it?
Can I take my dog?
Okay, that'd be a qualify. Okay, you get 4 million.
Okay.
You can come up with like weight it, because I came up later in the video. I thought, okay, well, you can take one person, but then you have to split the money. And then you better be careful because that one person, has to abide by the rules too. You both do. And so you're stuck with each other for a year.
Yes. That's easy. I take the money and split the money with my husband, take my husband and run away for a year.
There you go. Can't talk to the kids though. I mean, can't talk to the family. I mean, they might have a grandbaby on the way.
That would be terrible.
I'm just saying, you got a year where you're just going dark.
Yeah, that would be sad.
Because you don't know what's going to happen, while you're gone.
Probably do it though. Wait, is it during school?
Right. What time? It's a whole year.
A whole year, yes. I could probably do that.
Yeah.
Also, we're in the teenage years.
Yeah. I'm just curious, because a lot of people, I don't know that they can be isolated like that. I don't know, maybe in our community we could do it. People could, but I mean, I look at the general populace. I mean, how many people could really do that if you think about it? Would they be able to do it?
Yeah, most could not, I don't think.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, my younger years, even pre-COVID, I probably couldn't.
Yeah.
Post-COVID, I care less and less and less.
I know. I'd
People
be like,
think,
just give me the cabin. I'll live there. You don't even need to pay me. I'll just live there.
I had last night I had a really sweet friend that I've known for, I don't know, almost 20 years now, through years at the church and foster care stuff, and she's a really great advocate for children and just amazing lady. And we're catching up and all this, and she's like, yeah, and all these years, and now you're posting all this crazy conspiracy theory stuff, and I don't even care. I believe it. And I'm
I
like,
mean, that's it. It's not a
huh?
conspiracy anymore.
I'm like, but it's true. So now they have a black box warning label on the jab,
Yeah.
and there's studies saying that it causes myocarditis,
Yeah.
and like worse than what we warned people about. Worse is true now.
Yeah, I know.
So was it ever conspiracy theory?
That's
Which side was conspiracy theory? Which
right.
side? Who's the conspiracist?
And see, that's a twisting of the word anyway. Conspire just means to come together and plan something in secret. I'm just loosely paraphrasing it. It's like, okay, that happens all the time in government. That happens all the time in big corporations. That happens all the time. Why do you think they have their little meetings, their little groups where they get together? You think they're not conspiring? Of course they are. I mean, so I guess it's just a theory that they're carrying this out. But we know they're conspiring. We know there's a conspiracy. Absolutely. I mean,
Well,
things just
literally,
don't
what
happen
did
like this.
Comey, Clapper, Brennan,
Yeah,
Hillary, Obama do?
right.
What did Lisa Page and Strzok do? What were those text messages?
I don't know what you're talking
That
about.
was conspiracy.
Right. That's exactly what it is. They're conspiring together in secret to carry
What
out
was the
something that,
insurance? Yeah,
yeah,
that was the conspiracy.
I know.
Yeah.
So once again, word salad manipulation, like you say, word salad. That's all they're doing, and twisting it and saying, "Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist." Well, what does that even mean? I have a theory that people conspire and hide, high places. Well, of course they do. That's what always happens. I mean, don't you watch like freaking documentaries on Rome, and everything else, and any other part of history and how government works and how the Vatican works and, any major, organization works. I mean, that's just what they do. I mean, people do it. I mean, people do it in their own lives. We do it in our own lives. Just like talk to somebody, try and persuade them to do this. You know what I mean? It's like do it in your own family.
It could be for a good reason.
Right, exactly. But to say that,
I've
blanketly it's a
conspired to hold
negative
birthday
thing.
parties for people before.
Exactly. Surprise birthday party, got to conspire, in secret. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy to me. Crazy
Mm-hmm.
world. I think your challenge was interesting. If you had extended it, if it had been the other way around, 5 years for $1 million. Ooh,
That's a long time.
that would have been a little more challenging. 5
That would be
years for only
very
$1 million
challenging.
would have been very challenging.
Yeah, that would be bad. Yeah, see, I didn't know, how to throw it out there. But I mean, a year is pretty tough for most people, I think. But yeah, 5 years for $1 million. Well, then the million's probably not worth anything by the end of the 5 years. So you're taking that risk. It has to be inflation adjusted.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What's it being paid out in for sure? And when do you
Yeah,
get paid?
well, you get a choice. You can have it in $1 million of silver, of crypto of your choice, or a mix and match basket, but it would have to be the equivalent of whatever that dollar amount is. You can choose your asset.
Yeah. If I get paid at the beginning, but held in trust
Yeah.
till the end of the year,
Uh-huh.
but I want it in silver.
Right. There you go. There you go. Hey, pick what you want.
Yeah.
I'll take it in Litecoin. It'll be worth like 100,000 by the time I'm done.
Wow. I hope so. Here's the thing. We have just been getting kicked in the teeth over here at Litecoin.
I'm telling you.
I'm telling you.
Most undervalued digital asset out there. It feels a lot like silver did for so many years. And it's just at some point, I know I will be on the right side of history.
It does not make sense, though, because the data comes out at how it's the most used with transactions.
I know.
It's got the ETFs. It has all of this, the privacy layer now.
Mm-hmm.
Like it has everything going for it. Meanwhile, $72.
I know. It's crazy. I mean,
What?
it really is crazy.
How is that possible?
There's no venture capital money behind it. There's nobody out there pumping it on the mainstream. I mean, and you see other projects where money gets dumped into it and you have, big money behind it that push it. And, that's just what happens,
But if it's
unfortunately.
actually being used that
I,
much
I,
for transaction, then wouldn't it be being repurchased and turned over?
you
Is
would
it
think.
staying in? Is it being used and then staying in the market as Litecoin? People aren't cashing it out, or how explain this to me.
I don't know. Well, I do have a theory that Litecoin's the only one that's truly valued fairly, and everything else is way overvalued. I mean, that may be the argument. That Bitcoin is just extremely overvalued, and a lot of the other chains are extremely overvalued and hyped. And maybe Litecoin is like at the right value, and everything else is, kind of pumped. I don't know.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm just like, Lord help me.
I
I'm like,
know it's crazy.
because I'm like a real loyal, kick dog, faithful kind of girl. And so, of
Yeah, I
course,
know.
I'm like
I know it.
over here suffering.
It works. What's wrong with you people? It works all the time. You're all using it.
Yes.
I know. It's a
Hopefully,
lot.
my loyalty will pay off one day.
Well, at some point, the markets will correct. I mean, you can only, an asset can only be undervalued for so long before, the markets catch up to it. You saw it in silver.
Yeah.
I mean, it took a long time. It was a grueling process, but it's an opportunity. I mean, wouldn't you like that opportunity now to go back and buy it for 20, $25 an ounce? I think
Oh,
everybody would.
yeah.
But at the time, it's like, when's it ever going to get past 30?
I know.
And like, geez, now
And
I
I,
wish I had $30 silver, you know?
and I do try to take advantage of that, when I can.
Mhm.
Try to not look a gift horse in the mouth and all the sayings. But boy,
I know.
it is just sitting there. So go Litecoin
It's
go. We
on
love you.
sale. I mean, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
It's like it costs you what, $75 to get one. Crazy.
Yeah. It did go up to 74 today. I saw,
Yeah.
had a little bit of a pump, which I was, makes me feel good.
You're gonna be upset when it's 4 digits and you didn't buy it at 75. Just saying. Put me on the record. I don't know. I might be really gray by then, but it's gonna happen.
Who knows? Who knows? Well, and Jenny talked about silver running first years ago,
She
and
did.
that being
Yeah.
around the time with all the pedo stuff being
Mhm.
coming out, and of course we're right there.
Mhm.
Every time I get on like some kind of news outlet, they're locking up more. They had another huge rescue operation out of Florida this week, called Dragon something, and they rescued a bunch more children that were in child sex trafficking that were pulled out of that. Of course, mainstream media is not talking about it,
No, of
but
course
they
not.
were rescued out of Florida, and so that was really big. And that actually, there was some gematria when the White House did this little game um, meme thing, and it said milk and milk, large milk, and I did the gematria on large milk and white and whole milk,
Mhm.
and it came up with like Florida dragon, blah blah blah, all this. And so I started looking in the news, and that's where I found the stories about the children being rescued.
Wow.
And so I think that was some of those big. They were, putting those memes up, like probably celebrating the children being rescued, that it wasn't being talked about. But
First thing I thought about is milk cartons, where they used to put the children in it.
oh my gosh, I
When
just
you
got
said that, that was
chills
like the
all
first
over.
that was like the first thought I had.
Oh my gosh. So do you know that there is, I heard a thing one time that that's how they used to actually traffic or sell children.
Well, it doesn't surprise me.
That was
Advertising.
advertising.
Yeah, no, not surprised.
Those weren't necessarily missing children. That was
Mm.
how like the dark ones. Um,
Messaged it out and put an auction out or something for
yes.
bidding, that kind of thing. Yeah.
And in fact, the guys were talking. I think it was after the. I think it was after the show on WBRT. I don't think it was during the show, but they were talking about how that's starting to come out. That do you know how children don't have to get a parent's permission to have their school photos done, and these
Yeah.
school photography
Uh,
businesses come in. They take pictures of all the children.
mhm.
And it also has a GPS because it locates what school that child's at.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have their age or their, range of
Yeah, they got
age.
their class, class number, and
Yep.
okay, this was in third grade.
Here's all these children. Here's what they look like.
Yeah.
Here's, you know, boy, girl, what they look like. Here's the group photo, so you know about how big they are,
Mm-hmm.
and all this. And then it talked about how that was actually associated with like tracking these children or tracking all of our children,
Yeah.
and that some of those groups were actually corrupt and involved with like targeting children. um, anyway, some very dark stuff. People
Yeah,
should
I mean, it's no different than Hollywood when you have the photographers and they we'll pass this one over to this source and say, hey, look, we've got this fresh blood, this young lady that you might be interested in, as they come through the door and try and get their first photo op or whatever it is. And so that's tied into a lot of that stuff too, because it's the front line, the first ones to kind of, I mean, check out the new crop, so to speak. And then they've got their network connections of, hey, I know a guy, I want you to, and it's just, and whether or not you think it happens, the fact that just the evidence that you pointed out with the GPS location, that kind of thing, any criminal, they might be totally innocent, photographers, absolutely, but any criminal is going to be thinking, oh, if that information exists, how can I access it?
right.
And so there you are.
Well, and they were also talking about, I don't know if it was them talking about, I was talking in another conversation about their how the schools systems, the government school systems, were complicit in these programs where they do this, the school testing, all the
Right.
school testing,
Yeah. Right.
and the gifted programs. And if you
Right.
were
Right.
involved in
Your
some,
three-letter agencies coming in and cropping them out. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
testing these
Recruiting them.
children,
Right.
and some of the programs, like one of the programs was called like Gate or something. There's another program called something else, but if you were ever involved in some of those programs, they might have been, looking for some of the gifted and talented
Certain
children.
talents that are required and some of the things they do.
Or if you have, some people, I mean, like I believe, like Uncle Cliff says, we're all psychic.
Yeah, absolutely, I think
And
so.
so some may have, and especially children when they're younger,
Hmm.
you're in theta or able to reach theta, I think that until 7 or 8 or something.
Hmm.
So if they come in and test children when they're still in that theta,
Hmm.
that could be, who knows if they are able to either manipulate their minds or know what their children are capable of.
Right.
Um, it's just very, you know,
And if you think that's crazy conspiracy theory, think about multiple tens, hundreds, really trillions of dollars at your disposal. What would you do with it? What would these agencies do with it? I mean, do you think it's going to be for the benefiting mankind? No, it's going to be for how can we find unique things? It's just like the billionaires that collect art. They want unique things. They want to be able to find the resources that are most valuable to protecting their interests, waging war on their enemies, whatever it may be. They're not going to let that money just sit around and not use it. No, they're going to put in programs exactly like that so that they can tap all the resources that they can possibly do in every facet, in the whatever war that they're fighting or whatever needs that they have. They're absolutely going to go recruit because they got the money to do it and they control everything. And so why wouldn't that happen? It'd be no different than a king, saying, "Oh, go, I'm walking by and say, oh, she's a beautiful peasant girl. Let's invite her to dinner," and there you go. And so it's no different than that. They're always on the lookout for the things that they need, desire, whatever that fulfills, their strategy in life,
Talent.
because that's how they live.
Well, and that's where,
It's never enough.
the MK Ultra files were put out the same weekend that the JFK files were released.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, no one talked about the MK Ultra files except us, of course.
Right.
But that's when they released all that information about what they were doing with those children at the Presidio, and all that, crazy, the military was doing testing, mental, crazy and satanic testing on children.
Oh yeah, what was the colonel or general's name? I can't even remember. Major.
Michael Aquino.
Yeah, Michael Aquino.
And
I see his picture and
yeah,
eyebrows up to here.
Yeah, he's sick. Very sick.
Yeah, it's like this guy. You can tell he's not right by just looking at him. I mean, the frequency, the vibe's off.
Yeah, it was really, really bad.
Yeah,
but
let's promote him and put him in charge of things.
Well, and if you think it's conspiracy theory, like, just go do. I mean, you can go to any, like, the CIA website. I mean, and they'll talk about MK Ultra on the FBI stuff, CIA. Also, Charlie and I were watching. We were trying to find Philadelphia Experiment.
Oh, yeah.
It was so difficult to find. They have remade the Philadelphia Experiment.
There's a newer one, isn't there?
So many. They've remade it 1,000,000 times, but it has nothing to do with the military guys getting their bodies caught
stuck inside of the hull of a ship.
The hull of a ship.
Right, and landing on a base in the future, and then and coming back,
or time travel, or any of that. They've remade it into all these other narratives, and so you have to really search. It's very difficult to search for the Philadelphia Experiment from guess what year?
What's not 88?
84.
80. I was gonna say 84. I knew it was 84. Why did I say 88? Because we're talking about 88.
So 84 is the year of the Orwellian experience and all that. 1984. And of course, that's the year that the Philadelphia Experiment movie came out.
84 million. That's all that exists.
Oh gosh. Oh,
look out. Maybe that's our problem.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we're going to use that for good, not evil. We're going to turn it on.
That's right. You got to turn it into the light.
Yes, turn it into the light. Anyway, I thought that was really interesting. Yeah. That was an interesting one too. So.
Well, yeah. Just don't get it confused with the movie Philadelphia with Tom Hanks.
Oh, Lord. Yeah. No.
Whole different thing.
Well, and the Hillary and Billary didn't show up. No surprise there.
I saw that. F you. We're unaccountable. We don't have to show up.
Yeah. But then did you see all the weird stuff where they're like, okay, this was weird. I did want to bring this up. So then the U.S. Marshals are asking for proof of life on Hillary, and people are showing the picture of her shoe when she was arrested in 2016. Remember when
she fell off?
That fell off. And they're showing when she was on the gurney, when they brought her body out, which allegedly she's no longer with us, at Gitmo. And there is a trend right now on Facebook of people doing throwbacks to 2016. Why is everyone so focused on 2016 right now?
No, that was the big year that
that she was never supposed to lose.
No, that was supposed to be her year, and they would carry out the agenda going forward. Yeah.
How bizarre! Like, why would? So I guess 10 years ago. So everyone's doing throwbacks to 2016. She was never supposed to lose. So they're like picking up their babies that are now like 10 years older and holding them like they did when they were
when they were
10 years ago or something. Like, it's very weird. Just look away. Mostly it's super awkward. But I was like, what in the world are these people doing? And then Trump or the White House, I don't know, one of them posted like a thing about she was never supposed to lose. And then they posted NSA, no such agency. We have everything.
Yeah.
And so to me, I think that that's when they caught them, is they caught them when they tried to steal the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And then they let the people see what happened the second time.
Yeah.
And let us have the Joe Biden experience.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell the people, you have to show the people.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's hard because everybody would have been awake at that time, and not everybody was awake.
And not everybody.
Not even hardly anybody. I mean,
yeah, we're still struggling with, what we're going through now. I mean,
yeah.
So, I mean, here we are 10 years later. I guess they said that like it would have like wrecked people's minds. Like they literally would have like broken with reality. A lot of society had they tried to tell them what really happened.
Too much at once.
Yeah.
It's possible. It is.
And just split with.
Yeah, it is. It's possible.
The cognitive dissonance,
Right. I mean, think about it though. I mean, it was kind of a big deal in 2017 when in Trump's first year, where he kept talking about the deep state, the deep state, you would have that language keep coming out, when before that it's like, there is no deep state. What are you talking about? It's just like, but now everybody, I mean, think of the people. If you say the deep state, they're like, oh yeah, shadow government. Oh, the people.
You didn't even say George Soros back in 2016.
No, nobody.
People didn't even know what that was.
What? What's he have to do with anything? Yeah. But now, yeah, and you think about the progress that's been made on the awareness level of these things that used to be taboo. It's mainstream news. You have kids talking about it. Mm-hmm. TikToking it. I mean, so it's like, yeah, it's pretty pervasive now. So we've got to be at a threshold of something. There's just too much. There's too many people who see too much to where I guess you can just go and just say F it, and I'm not going to participate anymore. And you'll have a big segment of people just not doing that. But that really doesn't fix anything. I mean, I guess it can if enough people just break away and just say, well, I'm done. I'm just not participating. The whole society starts fracturing. Or, you just start making changes. Or restoring what used to be. You really don't have to change a whole lot. You just have to restore it back to the way it was built, and then, follow those rules, because there is a playbook that we, the people, created. Just going to follow it.
Yeah, that's for sure. Right. Hey, do me a favor, you guys. I appreciate all of you joining us in the live chat. I went back and looked at our video from last week, and we only had 1 thumbs up.
What?
Yeah.
Are you sure you weren't looking at my channel?
No.
On your channel?
1 thumbs up. I need your help.
Thumbs up every time.
We love our community, but I need your help. I need you guys to do me a favor. Stop right now and give us a thumbs up. Give us 2 thumbs up. I don't think you can do that, but at least give us 1 thumbs up. So please, there. Oh, thank you for all the little fireworks and the thumbs up. That means the world to me, whoever does that stuff and makes it happen. So please, please, please stop and give us, I'm begging. I'm doing was that Ted Kennedy that he got down on his knee in Congress? He said, I get down on my knee. I'm begging you. Let's come to an agreement on this. Pass a bill.
And for your love gift of a thumbs up, I will come back next week and do it all over again.
That's right. That's right. So please give us a like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell.
Oh, well, even better.
Do all the things. Oh, you guys are great.
Big shout out to the chat for showing up.
Yes. Love you guys.
Fridays are wonderful. Get to see everybody hopping in here. That's always a good thing.
Thank you very much. No need to beg. Y'all earned it. Sweet. Oh man, I had so much fun. Our dear friend Daniel from CoinFlip.
I do.
So I have the best time. Sometimes he'll come to a Westwood meetup.
Yep.
And
usually in June. Yeah.
Yeah. And he and I give each other a hard time. He's a big sports guy. He loves sports. And it was right when the Mike Tyson thing happened?
I think it was around then, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, well, it's fake. I said, but it's all fake. And he's like, Lisa, You do not believe that all sports, professional sports, are not fake. I said, yes, they are. It's all contracts. It's all fake. And so now every time I see something that's fake, I send him a message. We
Yeah.
tease each other.
Look.
And he's like, Lisa. So he sent me a link yesterday or day before. And he's like, dun, dun, dun. You were right. This huge story broke about the NCAA. Of course, I don't know if you guys know how much China is involved in owning a lot of basketball.
NBA, it's a pretty heavy influence,
Yeah.
I think.
And so I kind of think that's why this is being revealed. That's my gut on why this is being kind of shown to people. But it's all, as Zach would say, fake and gay.
Yep.
I just have to say. But 20 men have been charged in a point shaving scheme involving more than so many college basketball players and NCAA division, blah, 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 so many games. This is like big money.
Oh, yeah.
Big money.
Yeah. What do you think about it? You're in college. I mean, get a $20,000 payout for not scoring enough. You're the point guard, that kind of thing, and you control the game, turn the ball over, keep it within the sport, the point spread, and you get your payout, and everybody else makes millions on bets, and of course it's going to happen. I mean, it happens in every industry. People can be bought and paid for. It's just, hey, I'm not going to make any money. I get a free college tuition, but it'd be nice to have some cash. Okay, well, this is all I have to do. It's not like I'm losing the game. I'm just not winning by enough, that kind of thing, shaving points.
Well, now they do that name, image, likeness. Like my nephew plays
Right.
he was playing for A&M. He was a pitcher in baseball. They moved him to a college in Arkansas, and I don't know how much they pay him. That's none of my business. But
right.
I know, like, they make it where, like, it's like they own you. Like, you can't go skiing because you might break your arm.
Right. You're kind of under contract in a way.
Yes, you're under contract.
You work for us now.
And that's not how it used to be, that like you were in college, so you weren't professional. That's how you're different between amateur and professional, But now there's this name, image, likeness, NIL, which should be yours constitutionally, which I guess it's yours to contract then constitutionally. But man, it's just a slippery slope.
It is, and you see the changes, like in college football, for instance. You don't have the loyalty to a program anymore, to a coach necessarily, where you had certain coaches built up programs, they had a reputation. It's like, hey, they did things for the kids, take care of them, guided them along so they got their education, so they get out in life, and have a career. And cared about the kids, as a program. But now you see it to where it's like, if you've got an athlete who's a quarterback, for instance, and he's a backup quarterback to a really good quarterback, and he's thinking, well, shoot, I'm never going to play here. F it, I'm out, and they'll leave. And then even, your stars will do the same thing. They're like, well, I can go over here. They're going to pay me a lot of money. And it just kind of erodes the whole idea of a team sport, because that's what it is. And so now we've got individuals making decisions, going here, there, everywhere, and oh, my player's not playing for this team anymore. Okay, well, shoot. And that's just, I don't know. I mean, I get it. The money's there, and this is what happens. If you don't pay them, they'll go out and, a bookie or somebody or a mob guy is going to pay him some money to throw the game. And so it's like, but there's a lot of money there. I mean, a lot of people are making a lot of money, and they're out there doing the game. And so it's a tough thing. And I'm not sure how you resolve it. I mean, I'm not sure what happens here.
Well, the whole
it's just
fact
the money. It's all about money.
They don't just be honest about it, that it is an entertainment industry.
Yeah, don't think that everything's real. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's just not. I mean, to any little thing, it's.
So not to
have too much money involved for it to be real.
Yeah, not to have a snippy moment, but I did have a dream the other night that
what crypto should I buy right now?
No, it wasn't a crypto thing, but it was like, and I needed to, it was like, when you have a dream and you need to remember something,
Yeah.
and sometimes I'll have that, and I know I need to remember that part.
Right.
And
It's
so like I
important.
tell myself like, okay, you have to remember this part or whatever, or I was being told to remember this part, and that Oz is dead. Because how I keep having the 14, the 4-1, 4-1, 4-1 for different things.
Yeah.
And my 4-1 was my Buffalo 4-1, 4-1, 4-1. And that was my Oz connected with the Buffalo and all that kind of stuff. And then it was that 4-1 is dead. Oz is dead. And that to me is the pull back the curtain thing.
Yeah, basically, because Oz is an illusion. I mean, you look at
Yes.
you have horses of different colors walking around, and then you've got all this, la 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 la, la. It's all just like Candyland,
Mhm.
and then obviously the Wizard of Oz is a complete fraud. It's just a projection of, an old man, and that, yeah, and so yeah, if Oz is dead, then that whole
Well, and the
illusion,
Fed is the ultimate Oz.
basically, yeah,
We put
yeah,
our money into this
it
myth.
is this big green building, this
Yeah.
Emerald City, kind of
And
thing.
so the 4-1, the Oz, which is Oz, OZ,
Mhm.
is dead.
Yeah.
And so that's where I think the curtain's been pulled back. That's what we're going to be. We are being shown this myth and that it's dead. And that's part of the Silver Night and the truth,
Well,
all of that.
that is interesting. I mean, it is, with your silver slippers in the book going on the yellow brick road, that
Mhm.
biometallic standard and what works for people, silver is something. I think William Jennings Bryan was a politician that ran, I think, for president that, was a big proponent of that during that time frame when that book was written by L. Frank Baum, like the late 1800s, early 1900s. So yeah, it's really interesting to see kind of where it's going. You
The
definitely
other
see
thing,
it playing out.
yeah, the other thing was I was watching old SL videos the
Hmm.
other night. And I was trying to find, and I don't know if it was during the recording or if it was after when it was just me, SL, and Brandy, but I had asked Brandy about silver, and she verbatim described the opening scene of The Wizard of Oz.
Oh yeah, with the
She was like, there's like a tornado, there's a storm, and she's like, there's like a grandma, and she's going by a window,
Mhm.
but she goes up, and then she comes down, but it's next door, like in a neighbor's yard. Well, I'm coming down next door to my mother. I'm going to be living next door to my
And you're
mother.
thinking,
So I'm thinking, and the timing of silver coming up and going down, like we just cleared our land, we're getting our permits to start building the shop.
yeah,
Like the timing of all this is like perfect. And what's so funny is she had never seen The Wizard of Oz. She didn't know what she was describing.
yeah.
And so it was just really funny to me. So I've been like trying to watch those and like I'm fast forwarding and then I'm going forward and then I'm going back and then and I'm like, oh, I don't want to hear about, Bitcoin Black or whatever they were.
Right, right. I don't either.
I'm
Trust
trying
me.
to find the silver stuff. Yeah. So I got real impatient and trying to find it. So I'm still curious if anybody finds that little clip.
Okay.
If you're an SL fan and watched that, send it to me. I'm still trying to find it, but just the timing of it was funny.
Yeah,
And
it is.
wow,
And
that's kind
now
of
you
wonderful.
look back and think, wow, that kind of applies to me, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
we did pay the guy to clear our land. We paid him in silver,
Nice. There you go.
and now he sends us articles about silver.
There you go.
And he's a really great guy. Yeah, one of our new friends here in the
Well, it's
neighborhood. Yeah,
transfers of energy,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
that's what it's for.
Make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other's gold. Remember
There
that
you
little
go.
song when you're kids.
There you go. Yep.
What is my husband saying? Sport something. Oh, spot price, paper price, blah, 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 not physical price. Yes, two decoupled in the near future. And there will be the real discovery. Hold. Yes.
Old. Yeah, it's like the Mel Gibson. Old. Um, Cliff talked about that. I was thinking about this, because he talked about when silver starts really running. This is an older, it might have been audio, that you would be in different parts of the country and be worth different amounts of money based on where you're at. So it may be worth X amount of dollars in New York City, but out in the middle of a cornfield, it's worth a different amount just based on, it'll become regional depending upon where you are and what value that it has for whatever services that you're getting and who's accepting it. And so it kind of goes along with that. You look at different dealers, you look at what's the spot price, what's the paper price. And so you've got different markets based on different demand because there's no faith in what the price is. I mean, we've kind of had that blown out of the water to where you've seen it. Oh, this is the price, and meanwhile in China, it's selling for $10 more an ounce.
I was going to say it's
And
already doing that.
yeah, and so
China
you're seeing
versus
right.
LBMA versus, yeah.
And you may see that here in the United States domestically because there will be different you'll have, I think you'll get to the point to where people will look at it and say, I don't even care what that says anymore. It's inaccurate. This is what I can get for it, or this is what I'll buy it for, and this is what I'll sell it for. And as long as the market in that particular region works, then that's what works. In Philadelphia is worth $50. I mean, it's one of those things. It's like wherever you're at, that's what it's worth. You
Right.
know.
Yeah. What's the example that you always use, in the desert, in the water?
Oh yeah, how valuable is that bottle of water in the desert?
Yeah.
You can go buy a case of it for $5 now, but take it to the desert. I mean, how much is that worth?
Yeah.
It's worth your life. So you're going to give everything you can just to stay alive, so, okay, it's a monster box, I mean, what are you going to do? I'm the only guy with a bottle of water. It's not the right thing to do, but I mean, that's just what's real value in that given moment.
Hey, and after you cancel all your Netflix,
Yes, I
all your
did.
streaming stuff like we did,
Yeah.
speaking of water, we watched Waterworld the other night. It's
Oh,
not so
yeah.
bad. It's not so bad.
No, it's not so
I
bad.
thought it's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, I got a cameo by what? Tom Petty or something? Or was that the Postman?
Oh,
I
I
think the
don't know.
Postman.
That's a good movie too. The
Yeah.
Postman is a great movie.
You're talking about the
Waterworld.
Postman, talking about Water World, not Water
Both have
Boy,
Kevin Costner, which is a
Water
great
World.
guy. I think he's a good guy. I think he may be in the movie now, playing in the movie somewhere. Um,
Maybe Dancing with
that,
Wolves.
the, there's a lot of wolves out there for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Oh man. Well, everybody, don't get too caught up in all this drama llama on
No.
the news and stuff. There's a lot of,
Yeah.
threatening. Like they keep saying, Trump is threatening the Insurrection Act, and then they're like, they're threatening riots. Everyone's threatening something.
Everybody's threatening,
Doing
threatening, threatening.
everything. Yeah. Listen, sit down. What do they have when two kids are arguing? You put them in a. Trump said this a long time ago. He's like, you take those two kids and you put them together and tell them to work it out or something like that.
Lock the door and say, work it out.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, don't give them your attention, because a lot of times they just want your attention.
Yeah, basically,
That's,
we're going to do this.
yeah. That's where we are. We'll have
Okay,
a bunch of spoiled brats, and they're mostly called the media, and they're mostly lying to you. So go spend time with your dog and your family. And
there you go. Stuff right in front of you, not the stuff that's being sold to you through the media, because I brought it up earlier this week. I talked about it one time to where, you've got a medium newscast for like a half an hour and, a little over 20 minutes with commercials. So, the content is like 21, 22 minutes. They can put anything they want in that. They can show all the wonderful things about the world in it, all the beautiful things that are happening and great hopium stories. They could do that, but they don't, because there's plenty out there, but they choose not to show you that. They choose to show you this, this, and this because it feeds into the narrative that's coming from behind that's being pushed out. And it's the same on every newscast, because they're all basically centrally controlled and very few owners of all the media conglomerates. And so just realize that, in the limited time that they have, there are millions of stories happening around the world, and they can choose to report whatever they want. But
Yeah. Well,
they're
that's where,
discounting and leaving out all the other stuff.
you know how they were talking about the Asian guy,
Yeah,
and he's everywhere,
right.
and all the things, and I'm like,
It's like
yeah,
Johnny Cash. He's been everywhere, man.
that's a great line.
Yeah.
But there's enough differences where, like, you would find a truth in one of the videos and it's like, okay, well, I resonate with that. Yeah, I agree with this. I agree with that.
Right.
So because I agree with this point or that point, then I'm going to resonate with the rest of what he's saying.
Uh-huh.
And when you have enough people agreeing together, it's like a reverse newscast. It's a loosh in a
Ah,
positive way.
yeah,
And
I
that's
love
where
it.
I'm like, they're helping us manifest silver, I think, to the future
That's
in a
possible.
positive way.
Yeah, it's possible.
I'm guessing, or I'm curious if that's what some of this Asian guy thing is,
Oh, it could be. I
like a
mean,
guy
yeah.
positive loosh,
No,
reverse loosh.
it very well could be because again, I mean, I'm a firm believer that if enough people think the same way
Well, it's
and
biblical, man. Two or more
it
come
is two or
together.
more, exactly. Two of you come together, and then move a mountain. No, it's 100%. No, I mean, and
Yeah,
that's it. I mean, we can collectively manifest the future, based on, our consciousness and the way we direct it. Because again, thought becomes action. And I mean, just in your own life in a small way. If you have a good attitude and you treat people nice and you smile at them and you say nice things, say, well, you look really nice today. Or it's like, oh, have a great
yeah,
day. If you just say things like that, it changes the whole environment and the whole atmosphere.
yeah.
It changes, everything starts to
Set
ripple
your
out.
expectation every day
Yep.
before your feet hit the ground.
There you go. And
You
if
you are
enough
already
people do
having a
that,
great day. Yeah,
everything just manifests and it just
yeah,
happens because it's just the nature of it. What you put out, is what's gonna, flow and come back and
yeah.
law of attraction kind of thing.
There we go.
Yeah. It's completely real. Don't let them deceive you. Don't let them steal your energy. Don't let those vampires vampire you.
Yeah.
You got to be you.
We're done with the vampires. I'm telling you, Oz is dead. I mean, it was so strong, and not to be cheesy and do the
No,
I had a dream thing.
no,
But it
no. But
is
when you
Martin
know,
Luther King weekend, so I can say I had a dream.
there you go.
I had a dream. Oz is dead,
Yeah.
and I
I thought you were
honestly,
going to go into Lionel Richie, Say You, Say Me. I had a dream.
no, no, no,
I
no,
had
no,
an awesome dream.
no, no, no.
No.
Martin Luther King weekend. What is your favorite Martin Luther King quote?
Oh, I don't know. Me?
Yeah, mine is the one where he says, "Darkness can't drive out darkness." Like hate can't drive out hate. Only love can do that. Darkness can't drive out darkness. Only light can do that. That's probably my favorite
Oh,
one.
that's a pretty good one. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd have to reread and
love
go
that
through
one.
quotes because I can't remember a lot of quotes. I
See,
really
and then I
can't.
put you on the spot.
I know. It's like I'm a big picture guy. I mean, he said a lot of great things. I
He
can't quote
did.
him.
He's a great man. Yeah, great man. Another great man taken from us.
Yeah, that was a
Yes.
rough time period. You had what Bobby Kennedy, him,
Mhm.
and who else? Who else got
Bobby and Robert, or Bobby and
it was
the
Martin Luther
cousin,
King.
both of them.
I was trying to think of that year though. That was what 68 or
Oh, was it
9?
the same year?
Yeah, I think it was. Anyway,
I didn't know he was killed the same year.
it was close. Yeah, I think it was. I don't know. Somebody fact check me. I was thinking it was.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure of the year. Well, anyway, I hope everyone enjoys and their long weekend. I hope everyone at the Postal Service has a wonderful long weekend and enjoys their weekend. So,
Yeah, and all you bankers, hopefully you have a permanent vacation.
yeah,
Banksters, I should say.
banksters, all the Fed banksters for sure.
Yeah.
In the Fed.
Mm-hmm. Useless drain of energy. Talk about the biggest vampire squid there is.
That's right. That's right. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and thank you to everybody who gave us a like and a thumbs up. The little things help out, so I appreciate you all, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks, Westwood. You're the best.
Thank you, lovely Litecoin Lisa. Hope you have a wonderful weekend.
You too.
Hop in on Spaces. I guess I'm launching
Yes.
Space tonight because I did promise I would on
Oh,
Tuesday.
wonderful. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. We'll see you there.
America's not the government, people. The America is you. It is the Grand fucking Canyon, the Rocky Mountains, the deserts of the Southwest, the Pacific fucking Ocean, the Atlantic fucking Ocean. It is the grandest continent. And what the fuck have you people done? You have turned yourself into sheep, every goddamn one of you.